Christopher B. Stokes, please come to the front of the class. Because I want to know something, sir. Why do you keep ending these movies with the same ending? All right. Just finished watching The Stepfather, right? Just like you got The Stepmother, you got, what was it, Adopted. They end these movies where the person gets shot or whatever. And then when the, and then when the paramedics and the police come, the person that was, being pretty much tortured by the killer, right? They're like, oh, well, we don't know where he went, or we don't know where she went. We know they got shot. And then the next scene is them with somebody, another family or whatever. And now it's like, okay, we have a part 2 coming. Because that's what happened with The Stepfather, all right? Now, I'm going to say this. Taye Diggs always does a good job with his acting, to me, in my opinion. He played his role pretty good. And I was surprised to see Tamar on screen. I actually was just flipping through, and I saw that they had just dropped The Stepfather. And when I played it, started, I was like, oh, okay, Tamar, I'm a Tamar fan and whatnot. So she's the mom, and Taye Diggs is playing this, it's the same story, though, with Chris B. Stokes and them. It's like it's somebody that was abused as a child, and then they grow up to be crazy. Now, listen, I feel like those stories should be told. I'm just saying, can y'all switch it up a little bit? I understand the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's like, give me, everything doesn't necessarily have to be a plot twist, but give me a different kind of ending. And why do we have to have all these 2s and 3s and 4s? So now we know a Stepfather 2 is coming, and it's going to be the same thing. He's going to find a new family. He's not going to like something that they do, and then he's going to try to kill them like he did these other people. So Taye Diggs plays this guy who was abused by his stepfather as a child. And he spends his adult life trying to find the perfect family. He has split personalities. So he has the one side that's really aggressive, right? Really harsh. And then the other side is kind of like, I don't know, geeky, nerdy, he's a little bit more timid. And then you have him. And so there was some parts I was tripping, like, so anytime he meets a family and things don't end well, right before he kills them, he calls his therapist and he basically like resorts back to being a child in the way he talks, his mannerisms. And he tells her, hey, I'm going to kill these people. I was just letting you know. And she was telling the police, I never know. He calls me from unlisted numbers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, girl, so this man is calling you, telling you he's about to snuff a whole family out. And you mean it? Why didn't you call the police then? I just didn't get that part, honey. I'm like, girl, as he killed one family in the beginning, it was just like adopted. Like adopted, the little boy was abused. He gets adopted. He starts acting out, and then in Adopted 2, it was the same thing. He meets another family. He starts acting out. It's like, look, damn it, Chris Stokes, Marcus, whoever's over there, switch it up a little bit. I usually like most of their movies, but I was just like, not the whole, and then he got shot in the chest. Tamar's character shot, I think her name was Asia. Yeah. Asia shot him in the chest. How do you survive getting shot in the chest? I know it happens, but come on. You got too much stuff in the chest. You got lungs, a heart. You got all these arteries and veins and stuff. So he was able to get shot in the chest and then take off into the night and find another family. One part, I feel like it was rushed when Asia met Taye Diggs' character in the grocery store. She was with her youngest daughter. They met, they talked, because they're shopping in the produce section, so they're talking about food. And they introduce each other, and then it just says 6 months later, and now they're married. It's like, damn, we didn't get to see no kind of dating. Um, Maybe they felt like it wasn't important to show that, but we didn't even see him ask for her number or nothing. We just see them shake hands, and then boom, 6 months later, she's married. Now she's freshly divorced. Her husband cheated on her. So no, he cheated on her and was leaving her for the woman. So that's what made Taye Diggs flip out at the end, because she admitted to him, well, I do have feelings for him. I mean, you can't just turn these feelings off. So he goes to Lowe's or whatever it was, buys some rat poison. The poor cashier was like, "Oh, you're having problems again?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like, girl, this he couldn't call pest control. You see this man steadily buying rat poison, and girl, and that's a harsh way to die. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I watch enough ID channel. I think I think rat poison is arsenic, right? Um, that's a bad way to go. I don't think it's as bad as cyanide, because cyanide takes you out immediately, whereas arsenic, depending on how much you get in your body, it can just slowly kill you over time. So in order for them to just die immediately, I'm thinking he's just loading this shit up with arsenic. So he kills a few people. He kills the kid's not mom, real father, because he felt like he was getting too close or whatever. Nobody's gonna mess up his perfect family. Now that little girl got on my damn nerves. I understand Taye Diggs' character was a villain, but she got on my nerves. Like that scene, she's 14, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm my period. Why does it have to happen to me?" 14 is kind of late to get your like at 14, you shouldn't be that surprised that you're bleeding. Now, if you're like 8 or 9, I could see that being traumatic for an 8 or 9 year old girl. My best friend's niece got her period at 8. At 8, yeah, I could totally understand that being your response. But at 14, you're right on time. Like, they had her kind of acting like she was 10 or something, running off crying and stuff because your period came on at 14. As always with a lot of these movies, you're not don't expect this top tier acting. It is what it is, and that's not an insult. Um, but sometimes I can be like, man, can you please enroll some folks in some classes? Just because the scene where he was, Taye Diggs' character does this thing where he will in his mind act a certain way, but in reality do something else. So he was like, he called the little girl, no, you gonna sit here and eat dinner, blah blah blah, you little asshole. And she was like, I don't know who you're talking to. You're not my dad. And I'm like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. And I try not to talk about children's acting, but that part was just not believable. Who do you think you're talking to? You're not my dad. I'm like, child. And y'all are in California where everybody wants to be a star. Y'all need to start getting these people into some classes. No disrespect. But the one character who was getting on my nerves, but I grew to actually like, was that one detective. He was the younger one, and he was like wisecracking and getting on their nerves in the department. But I like how him being the rookie, he had some fresh ideas that they weren't thinking about, right? When trying to catch this guy. So, because at first I was like, ugh, he is annoying as hell, but later on, I'm like, okay, I feel him, I feel him. So yeah, Stepfather or The Stepfather. I'll see the exact title when I get off here. Just dropped on Tubi about a week or two ago. Like I said, Taye Diggs. And I don't know how old a lot of you are, but if I'm in my late 30s. If you experienced the 90s, 2000s, you remember Taye Diggs was big shit in the late 90s, 2000s. He was, black cinema was going through the whole like black rom-com thing in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And Taye Diggs was in most of that stuff. He was in Stella Got a Groove Back, which was in 98. The Best Man, which I really think really put him out in the forefront. The Best Man, The Wood, um, Brown Sugar. He was big shit back then. So nice to see him out again. And for anybody that says things like, "Oh man, Taye Diggs and fell off. He doing Tubi movies." You have to understand the time that we're in. Um, Streaming is most people's uh I'm trying to get the words out. Media is how most people view film and TV now. So if you see an actor that was in the theaters 25 years ago and now you see them on streaming, that's not a downgrade, because that's how we consume. That's the word I was trying to come up with. That's how we consume our media now. We stream stuff. We watch content on social media. We watch stuff on YouTube. I don't know. I don't think I personally know anybody that has cable anymore. I had cable about 2 years ago, but it's like I probably watch YouTube more than anything. That's like where I watch, because there's so much stuff. Like I get my news on there. I like my documentary. So yeah, Taye Diggs being on a Tubi movie, that's not a downgrade. So just for anybody that may think that, because for those of us, like I said, that grew up 90s, 2000s, we're used to the movie theater being the place where you got your film. Cable TV being the place where you got your TV. Whereas now, the movies that make it to the theater now, they got to be super, like Michael. Look how big that is. Sinners, when it was out. Obsession. It has to be something that's really, I don't know, groundbreaking to make it to the theater now. Everything else is going to be on streaming services. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about Stepfather. Um, and what are your thoughts? Like, do you agree with it ain't broke, don't fix it and everything, but can we get a different ending? And we don't need 2, 3, 4, 5 movies. I personally don't like to be hooked on, damn, now I gotta see the second one. Damn, now I gotta see the third one. But anyway, shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed. But you can by hitting that button for me, all right? I really do appreciate it. Trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of this year. Help me do it. Peace and blessings to every last one of you watching. Until next time.